I used to think I had to water myself down to fit in, carry the weight of everybody's wants and expectations. I searched in the wrong places, nowhere but empty spaces. I wore a mask to hide my face, but couldn't see the changes. You turned my black and white to many colors. I lost the girl I used to be, but found her when you met me. Now I can dance and I can sing, no fear if anyone's watching. You hold my hand and guide my soul, and now I know the girl I thought was gone was with you all along.
More music variety on Power Ace Radio.
Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to another special episode of P.A.R. Meet the Artists. And as usual, we bring you amazing artists from all over the world. My name is Pali. I'll be the host of the show. Welcome to Power Ace Radio. So if I could ask my guests to please introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and we know you're an artist, but tell us what you do, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this interview. My name is Kate Stanford, and I'm a Christian singer-songwriter based in Nashville, Tennessee, in the United States. I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, also in the States. And I love what I do because I wake up every day with so much purpose and so much joy because I feel like Christian music as a genre can really impact people in ways that I can't even fathom because I feel like God uses our songs for his good and for healing. And I am just so blessed to be doing what I love in this way. And yeah, I just released a song called All Along, and I wrote that song about Jesus sort of healing that inner child within me, and that really just encapsulates my testimony and my healing journey as a person as well.
Oh, that's really, really cool. I love where you left it there, all along was the first song we received, and we're like, wow, we definitely need to hear more from Kate. We need to know everything about her. Well,
Oh,
that you will share. So let me kind of go into, your music itself. It radiates so much joy and hope. So when you sit down to write, what usually sparks the first line or melody for you?
mm. So I pull a lot of my writing from my real life experiences. And usually what I like to do is I like to set the scene and just be realistic with my audience and say like this thing that I'm struggling with has been very hard and it's been very painful, but God has worked through these situations and there is hope. I think that in being a songwriter, you inevitably are a leader, and people are looking to you for support or hope or whatever they're listening for. And I think that it's important to be vulnerable, but also to be encouraging and say, hey, I walked through this season, but I came out even stronger. And that's kind of how I approach my writing. I never want to be like, oh, woe is me. I'm a victim. I kind of have this negative mentality. I always want to leave listeners feeling uplifted and positive and validated in their struggles.
Mhm. No, absolutely, absolutely. And, feel that in your music.
Thank
And,
you.
so you did another song called Praise You and another one called Stand on Your Promises.
hmm
These are powerful titles. What promises have you personally had to stand on this year?
Oh, so many. I usually will have kind of a motto for my years. And the year of 2025, my motto has been get outside of the box. And a box can be different for everybody, but for me, that box kind of represented self-limiting beliefs and where I hold myself back. And I've really been diving into prayer and saying, like, God, like, wherever I am holding myself back for your journey that you've set apart for me, please let me just let go of that And I've just really experienced a lot of freedom in that way in 2025. So I would say a promise that I've experienced is freedom and being set apart in that way. Um, and the song itself, Stand on Your Promises, I actually wrote that song about my struggle with chronic pain. And I also feel like I have received healing in that way as well. And I feel like the pain that I was talking about in that song, I still kind of have bad days, but I've also been kind of set free of that chronic pain as well.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really great. That's
Y-
a testimony. I mean, after your song. That's really
y-
beautiful. Thank you for
yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah.
And for somebody who is listening for the first time to a Kate Stanford song, um, how would you specifically describe it to, yeah.
Oh, wow. It's interesting because in the last, I'd say, year or two, I've really kind of found my voice and I've found that sound that I really want to go to. Because I feel like in my earlier years, I kind of leaned stronger towards just like true Christian pop sound. But I feel like as I've grown as an artist and really dove into what I truly want and what I listen to, I would say I'm more Christian folk country pop. I know that's a lot of different genres, but I would say that my melodies are still pop leaning, but the instrumentation in my tracks and everything, they lean more folk country.
Mm, so beautiful combination. Feel of everything in there. Nice.
Thank you.
And do you remember, might be a difficult question, but the first time you ever heard your song streaming or playing on the radio, or on the streaming platform, what kind of went through your mind?
I actually do. So I started releasing music when I was still in high school, when I was 17, and I remember sitting in my science class in first period, and my friends had pulled up Spotify, and my song "I'm a Believer" was on her release radar on Spotify. And I kind of had a moment where I was brought to tears and I was crying because it felt so surreal that I had the opportunity to share my gifts with whoever wants to listen. And it was just such a special moment. And I think from that moment forward, I knew I wanted to continue making music in whatever capacity and whatever that would look like. So I actually do remember the exact moment.
Oh, wow, that's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
It's so vivid as well. So well done.
Thanks.
And let's go back into the latest track, All Along.
Yeah.
So if All Along was, I would say if you had a flavor to it that you can actually taste, could almost taste it,
Oh, a
what do you think
flavor.
it would taste like?
So it's interesting this is a great question because I am such a visual person and I always say that I want my songs to look like they're yellow, just like joy, yellow, positivity. So that's kind of the visual I always go for. But for taste, I would say I want something warm. So something maybe like brown sugar or like spices, like cinnamon, or maybe something bright like lemon, like something like that. But I feel like more so brown sugar, like a brown sugar muffin or a brown something, some sort of pastry that has brown sugar in it, where it's like you eat it and it's sweet and it's warm and it's comforting. But then I also feel like, too, my songs also have substance. So maybe like it has something on the side that'll fill you up a little bit more, Not just the muffin. So maybe a muffin and some eggs.
Nice, 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 nice.
Yeah,
But you are
yeah.
very visual. I've never had nobody actually describe it and break it down like that before. That's great.
Thanks.
And so let's kind of go into your song that it has such a strong faith message contained within it. But as you said, it's got a bit of a rock country. There's over beats to it. So how
Hmm.
do you balance between ministry and artistry?
That it's, it is so interesting because I feel like in the Christian music space, this has become a huge debate and a big dialogue between people where it's like, how do we self promote, but then also don't use the name of Jesus for our own profit. And it's like it's this fine line. And I feel like with everything in life, nothing is black and white. And honestly, I don't have the answer to that sometimes. But personally, what I do and what I think about is I self-reflect and I look at why I'm doing this and why I wake up every single day. And the reason that I do it isn't to get clout and to be famous and to have all of these fancy things and to be seen in a certain way. I do this because it genuinely ministers to me because as I am ministering to my audience, which, my music is for everybody, but it is mainly young women who follow me and who listen to my music. I have received so many incredible messages and have had so many incredible conversations that have truly just changed my life. And in a way, my audience is also ministering to me in that way, and it's filling my cup. So I would say the way that I balance it is I look into myself and I say, why am I doing this? What am I craving? Am I relying on validation from the outside world, or am I relying on God's validation and saying who he thinks I am?
Mm, 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 mm. Wow, that's a well thought of answer, and like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I like that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
And kind of let's keep going based on what you said before as well, that you've talked about bringing vulnerability and honesty to your music. Was there one moment where being honest in a song scared you, but you did it anyway?
Yes, yes, all the time. It was honestly, so I think All Along was probably my most honest song that I have put out. And you could ask any of my friends, the day before I put out All Along, I was so nervous to release it. And I was second guessing myself. And it wasn't because I didn't love the song, because I really do. I'm very proud of it. It was because I my story would be told and I would be seen. And that was very scary for me to do, honestly. But after I put it out a few days after and the feedback that I got from it, it just, I felt like a weight off of my shoulders because I think that there is so much power in sharing our testimonies and sharing our stories and setting because it sets us free. Again, back to that concept of freedom I've experienced this year. It really set me free from a lot of the pain that I experienced in, what I described in that song.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's really great. And as you said, if you share it, it's not just for you, even though yeah, you say it's freeing you, but other people can relate to it. I think, oh, I thought I was alone in this journey, but then you find out problem shared is problem solved apparently. So yeah, your testimony. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And let's go into this bit that sometimes things just don't go as we plan. You've done everything, but it just doesn't quite go as you planned. So how does your faith kind of guide you when things don't go as planned in your career?
Oh, well, as you know, probably the music industry is one of, if not in my opinion, one of the hardest industries to really be in and break through and to find success, whatever that looks like in. And what I have learned from my personal journey is that when doors close, God is actually closing those doors. I've been in situations where I had an opportunity that was huge. It fell through, and I learned later that God was actually protecting me from something very bad in that opportunity. And this has happened consistently throughout my career. So I kind of operate with the mindset that whatever is for me, the doors will open. God will open those doors. And whatever is not for me, those doors will slam shut, like literally in my face. And I'm like, well, now I know that that's not for me. Um, and I also think too, just the nature of, being who you are and who God created us to be, inevitably that authenticity will attract the right people. Because I always say, I don't want to be anything but myself. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to put on a show because that will attract the wrong people and the wrong opportunities that don't align with me and who I am.
No, absolutely. That's a great, great answer. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
I just want to go into, kind of, this great artist that you are now. You've obviously been listening to loads of artists, while growing up until now. So do you have some names of some maybe mainstream artists that have contributed to you musically or maybe even spiritually?
Oh, wow. I always say it's so hard to choose because I am such a diverse listener. I literally listen to everything under the sun. And it's interesting because I think that my Christian audience, they kind of have, different opinions on that, where it's like, should Christians be listening to secular music? Should they not? I personally think that God created all music and we can pull from things and God can speak through all different types of music. So I think that all different types of music are amazing. Growing up, I grew up in the South in the United States, and there was a lot of country and folk kind of bluegrass influences with instruments like banjo and mandolin and things like that. So I feel like I grew up with a lot of that influence, and you could hear some of that, the strings in my songs in that way. I'm also a classically trained artist, so I grew up singing opera and musical theater. So I've listened to a lot of that as well, and that doesn't show up as much in my music, but you can hear it, some of it in my vocal style. I also really love pop, listening to pop, and yeah, so I feel like you can kind of hear all of those different influences as to you, and you can kind of see where it's like my music, it's not cut and dry, just like one genre. It's kind of a mix of all of these things. So it makes sense with my upbringing and everything. But I really feel like a lot of my influences have been taken from folk artists, and because I like the storytelling element of folk and I like the instrumentation and everything. So I've been listening to Ingrid Andress. She's really a great storyteller, and I like the way that she lays everything out in her lyrics. So I really look up to her in that way. And someone recently compared me to her. They're like, "You're like the Christian Ingrid Andress," and I was like, "Well, that's it's a huge compliment." And I would say vocally, I I mean, this is like not a hot take. Kelly Clarkson's voice, I mean, like it doesn't get much better than Kelly Clarkson, honestly. So those are just two off the top of my head.
Oh, they are really, really great choices. I like that a lot. And kind of maybe as a set up to the next question, that if you could collaborate with any artist, maybe gospel, maybe secular, um, who would it be and why?
I know off the top of my head, Dolly Parton, like all the way. I just have looked up to her in so many different ways. I know people who know her personally, and everything that we hear about her is true. A true, she's very diplomatic and she treats everybody with so much respect and kindness. And she doesn't have this huge ego, and she doesn't see herself as above anybody. She sees us all as equals, and that's just who I strive to be. And what people don't realize, I feel like, is she's extremely business savvy and smart. And she made a lot of really great business decisions in propelling her career forward. And I also like to be very knowledgeable about the music industry and the business so I don't get taken advantage of as an artist. So I really look up to her in that way. And then also I love her authenticity, and she has just never been afraid to be who she is, and that's just been really special. So again, love her music, love her as an artist, but I admire her as a person, and I think that I would be honored to learn from her in the collaboration with her.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. That's a really amazing artist. Again, not an answer I've heard before. Dolly Parton, but yeah, she's incredible.
She's she's
Absolutely incredible.
she's up there. You honestly, you should look her up. She's great.
Absolutely no. No, of Dolly Parton. It's just yeah, I've never had that
Yeah.
answer before. So yes, thank you for bringing
Yeah.
something different. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe a follow-on question again. That if you perform any of your songs, maybe with Dolly Parton or with anybody else, which of your beautiful tracks would you like to collaborate?
Oh wow. Hmm. I would probably say All Along because again, that song is talking about authenticity and faith and hope, and I think that really aligns with her message. And I totally could see somebody else like taking the second verse and kind of doing their own thing with that. So yeah, I'd say All Along.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So, well, if you don't mind, say up to the this, giving us maybe a little snippet of this song all along, or actually it's up to you. The floor is yours. You can give us a snippet of any of your songs.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you a little snippet of All Along. I wish I would have known. I my keyboard is in my car. I would have played a little bit on the piano, but we can do it a cappella if that's all right with you.
Capella is amazing. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I used to think I had to water myself down to fit in, carry the weight of everybody's wants and expectations. I searched in the wrong places, nowhere but empty spaces. I wore a mask to hide my face, but couldn't see the changes. You turned my black and white to many colors. I lost the girl I used to be, but found her when you met me. Now I can dance and I can sing, no fear if anyone's watching. You hold my hand and guide my soul, and now I know the girl I thought was gone was with you all along.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so, so much for that. Um, oh, that was perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
And I just want to go into this bit that, actually, before I go into it, let's cover this bit first. For people now going, where can we go and find more about Kate? So, do you have a website? Do you have social media? How do you prefer people to reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm on all social media platforms. So I'm mostly active on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and all of my the usernames are the same. It's at Kate Stanford Music. Would love to connect with you guys. I try to check my DMs pretty frequently, try to reply to comments as many as possible. So yeah, would love to connect with everybody there.
Super, super. That's pretty easy, You don't have to find lots of things. Just Kate
Right.
Stanford. It's Kate
Yes.
Stanford. Stanford.
Yep, yep, you did your research.
And kind of talking more about you, Kate. That you're originally you said from Baton Rouge,
Yes.
and now you're in Nashville.
Mhm.
What has or what have both places taught you about music and life?
Oh, wow. I would say so I've lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to college in Austin, Texas at the University of Texas. And then I live in Nashville now. So all of them are relatively southern states, but I feel like each place is so different because I have done different things in different places. So Baton Rouge was very much my hometown. I was growing up there, and growing up you learn a lot. Austin, I was in college, and I feel like that was really a coming of age for me where I learned a lot about myself, and I really kind of became an adult in that way and stepped into my own. And then I feel like Nashville has been the place where I truly have found myself and like who God has made me to be. And I would say in Nashville, I am definitely the happiest I've ever been because I'm doing what I love and I have a really great community and group of friends here. So I would say each place holds a special place in my heart, but I think that my season in Nashville has definitely been the most transformative and special for me.
Mm, that's nice. Because you kind of almost answered that question, but which is my next question. I mean, that
Yeah,
now you've obviously started thinking about, from all that, from then till now,
yeah.
what's been one pinch me moment in your music career that you're like, wow, am I really doing this?
Well, I have so many. I'm so thankful because there's so many moments where I'm like, God really just opened those doors for me. But I would say I had the privilege of opening for Seth Schluter. He sings Counting My Blessings. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like, God, I'm still counting my blessings. He's a big name. Especially in like the United States, for Christian music. And I got to open up for him in the Northeast, and it was really just like they were incredible shows. I felt very strong about my performances vocally and just like with my stage presence and everything. And I had a few people come to those shows who have seen me before in other shows, and they brought me gifts, and they were so excited to see me. And I think that it's just very special having people come up to me and saying, like, your performance really touched me. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for being so kind and hospitable to me every time you see me. So those are always some really big pinch me moments for me after shows, meeting everybody.
It's really incredible. I like that. Hopefully someday we'll be at one of these shows to be like, ooh, I
I would
know.
I would love that. It's a goal of mine to do shows internationally. So I really would love some prayers on that. Would love to. You're based in London, right? Would love to come to London to perform. I've only ever been to London to travel, but I would love to come for work.
Oh, that would be really, really incredible. Because actually, my next question is that if you could, perform anywhere in the world, maybe here, right here in the UK, where would it be and why?
Oh, wow. So I have a lot of listeners in the Netherlands, actually, and it's a lot of young women who are Dutch listeners. And I recently I was over there for vacation a few months ago, and I did an interview with a Dutch radio station over there, and I got even more listeners from that radio interview. But I would love to do a full tour in the Netherlands. And because it's just a very special place to me. And I remember I would post TikToks being like, I'm in the Netherlands, I'm a Christian artist, where should I go? And I had so many people reach out to me and say, oh my goodness, like come with me to my church on Sunday. My parents own a tulip farm, come to my farm, it's on us. Just very, very kind people I met there. So that would be a huge dream of mine. But again, I would love to. I'm a big traveler. I love to travel internationally. So if I ever had the opportunity to go all around, including the UK, I would be so happy about that.
Super. Well, let's just keep talking into existence and sure God will make it happen, right?
I so agree.
Awesome. And what's next for Kate? What's any new project, any collaborations?
Yeah, I actually have a Christmas song coming out this Friday. And I'm doing my own version of Oh Holy Night, and I love Christmas classics, and I enjoy covering Christmas songs, and maybe next year I'll write a Christmas song of my own. We'll see. Stay tuned. But yeah, I'm very excited about that, and yeah, I'll be posting more about it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So
Super, super. Well, we'll be there to have a listen and hopefully get
yeah.
on our playlist. We have a playlist called CAP. It's called Christmas at Power Radio. Um,
Oh,
so it starts in December and then on Christmas Day, it's all day and it's, yeah, independent artists like yourselves doing
yeah.
Christmas music. So yeah, it's been an incredible show. So any final words for your listeners?
Well, I just want to say thank you for your time. It's been really a pleasure getting to talk to you. And I love connecting with, different radio stations and people because at the end of the day, it's more than just connections for me. It's like establishing those relationships with people like you. So thank you so much for your time. And to those of you listening, thank you again for tuning in. And I hope we can connect on social media. Would love to talk with you guys. So
You're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on show. Busy bee like you, but you still want to come and bless us with your words of wisdom. So yeah, until we meet again, I'm sure we'll be definitely back another episode. But till then, it's been a pleasure. Take care.
You're traveling on the airwaves of Power Ace Radio.